didn't it? Panicked
It
to
did,
begin with.
yeah. And then it's just like it was okay afterwards.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah, we're
it's
live now. Yeah,
working now. Yeah, okay, cool.
yeah. So my mic, your mic, we're all being captured. I'll add this screenshot. You go get your water.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Do, 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 do. Hello to any keen beans that are already watching us. That'd be pretty keen if you are, but we're just setting up. I'm just grabbing a background for this week's episode. Um, uh, I don't get it. This image he sent me isn't an image. Oh, Declan. Oh, okay, is it that one? Okie dokie. Oh, apologies.
Okay. Let me just try and share the stream to Twitter.
Do it. Is it just the Death Stranding like logo? Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do the job.
Yeah. Well, no, like the image of what's his name? The actor Norman Reedus or
Norman Reedus.
Reedus.
Norman Reedus. Yeah.
Norman Reedus. The name's Reedus. Norman Reedus.
Mm.
But yeah, cool. Yeah, that's all set up. So we're Gucci.
Yeah. Okay.
In that regard.
Do you have like easy access to the link of the stream right now? So
Sure.
if you do, just like post it in the Discord. Because I've got the thingy up, the like the demo room, you know, so I can see the chat room, the chat and everything, and it's slowing everything down.
Yeah, I got it. I just pinged it in Discord.
Okay, great.
But yeah, apart from that, I think we're good.
Great. Copy link. What shall I say? We are
Family.
live, friendos. Come and say hello. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Perfect. So that's peak engagement.
It's the best. The best.
Whew. I got my haircut. Did you see it?
I do.
How short it is.
Yeah. It's fancy. Yeah. Getting your haircut for the boys' weekend, are you?
Yeah, you know it. But also, I was out last night, obviously, for a friend's 30th, so I am a bit shaky. But
that's
you know, I'm here.
You're a little bit hungover.
Yeah,
it's all good, man.
Yeah. I usually have this like that. Yeah. Okay. All right then. Let's jingle on out of here.
Okay.
Or in here, I guess, and get going.
Yeah, we're jingling, brother.
Nice. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 66th episode of the Quick Resume podcast. If you have not been here before, this is a place where we talk about gaming news. We talk about Xbox news. We talk about all your favorite news right here every Sunday around about this time. And I'm Dag, and over there is my cap wearing, slap wearing, brother from another mother,
Tim.
I love it.
What does slap wearing mean?
It means there's still tequila in my system, and the coffee hasn't kicked in yet.
Interesting. That's a good combo, tequila and coffee.
Yeah, no, it truly is. I like that whenever we do that, there's always like maybe a second and a half of just dead air before you have to say your name.
I'm also kind of just like waiting for you to finish. I'm sitting there like, and you're like, and you just keep going. You're like cap wearing, slap wearing, fap having, handsome, and I'm just like,
oh, that'd have been a good one. Oh.
Yeah, and I was just waiting, and then you stop for like a second or two, and I'm like, he's done. I'm like, Tim. I just
I don't know. Yeah, maybe we need to rethink that, because like if you watch, you watch like Kind of Funny or like any of like the big things, they have like 6-sentence long intros for each other, and I'm like, how do you remember all of this?
Yeah. It's a bit.
I don't have a name for you.
But then like they have intros for each other because they're all content creators. So they're like, oh, it's this guy, he does this, he does that, he's on Twitter at this and that. It's just like, we're not really that, so we don't really need to introduce ourselves like much. Like,
I guess so. Regard. I don't know. I think it like
intros are almost like a promoting thing to an extent for the people you're doing a podcast with. So
I'm gonna think of something over the coming months, and if something sticks, I'm
okay.
Use it. Until then, I'm just gonna improvise it and say a load of words slapped together.
Sounds good, man. I'm happy with either or. Don't worry. Okay. No pressure.
All right. Thank God. I was starting to sweat it a little bit. Okay. Well, it's been a busy week, Tim. I think anyway. Not all of it's like direct. The thing is, we probably could trim this episode down to like a very short episode, but stuff has happened, and it's worth talking about. Some fun stuff, some not so fun stuff, and some stuff somewhere in the middle. So let's start up how we usually do. How are we going? How are we doing? What we've been playing? How's the game brain?
Yeah, the game brain's it's ticking. It's ticking this week. I don't think I've done anything exceptionally new. I'm still getting my way through Tales of Arise. Just took down my third Lord out of 5, I think. Let's go. But then like JRPGs are always, it's like Zelda, isn't it? It's just like, take out, what was it? The ancient beasts. What were they called?
Yeah.
It was just like do all 5 of them, and it was just like, there's more, and it's just like there's like a twist will happen, and it would just be like all that kind of shit. But yeah, I just took out my third Lord, which was actually a really good one. I actually think I probably liked the third Lord the most so far in the game, because they actually took like a different approach to everything. It wasn't just like, because the first 2 were just like, they're slaves, you got to free the slaves, the boss is there, you climb the tower, you beat the boss, like cool scenery, that sort of thing. And like obviously the environment's changed. One was like a lava desert, the next one was like a snow area, which was really pretty. But like this one actually had like a different mechanic to it, and like an actual like backstory behind like the Lord and everything, and I think that was my favorite one so far.
Cool.
So that's good. And then Multiversus, we've actually been hitting that pretty hard over the last like week or two. You've managed to rope me back into that game, and my boy Morty's coming out on Tuesday, so pretty hyped about that.
You never really left. We just had a bit of a busy week.
Yeah, exactly. But like there was, I think you were getting scared. You were literally like, he's back on Apex. Oh God, like, how am I gonna pull him away from this? But yeah, so that's about it. I think
All right.
Multiversus, Tales of Rise. What did we play? We played some party games the other night, didn't we? What did we play?
We played Rocket League. We
What did we
played
play before that,
Who's
though?
Your Daddy?
Oh, Who's Your
Who's
Daddy? That's it. That's a great game.
Me.
Dude.
I'm your daddy.
I have made.
It was good.
I've made so many clips on that game since we started playing it. Just the animations and just how that game runs. It's half the fun of it. It's like a horror movie sometimes. It's so scary. But yeah, that was fucking great.
I guess just to clear up for maybe anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, Who's Your Daddy is like, you may have seen videos of it on YouTube or whatever, you know, the objective, it's supposed to be a 1v1 game where one of you's dad and one of you's a kid, and you know, it's like terrible graphics, but like really funny physics, and as the kid, you're trying to go around and kill yourself, basically. It is a bit morbid when you say it out loud, but it's not. It's not. I was trying to explain this at the party yesterday, and I was playing this game where you have to play as a kid and try and kill yourself, and everyone looked at me like really weird, like considering like I'm literally going to be a dad in a few months. I was like, okay,
mate,
that sounded bad. I sounded bad.
Yeah, mate, that's good training. Now you've played that game, you know exactly what to do with your kid.
I know what to look out for. You know,
Exactly.
I'm gonna make sure he doesn't climb in the oven. I'm gonna make sure he doesn't run himself over with a lawnmower. You know, I'm on the ball now.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like simulations, isn't it? Yeah. So, and obviously, as a dad, you're trying to stop the baby killing themselves. You know, you've got a timer, 5 minutes before they do it. So, you know, there was 4 of us doing that, and it was a lot of fun. It's currently on the Xbox store. It's got a trial, so we just did that until we ran out. But it's, you know, I think it's £5 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's janky, it's buggy, but it's just a great time. It's just a stupid fun party game you can pick up for like £4, and it leaves you in stitches. Literally, one of our friends, I don't think I've ever heard him laugh like that. I don't think I've ever heard him laugh like that. He was
scared.
Literally dying.
I was scared, dude.
Oh my god, it was so funny.
It was like one of those things, like where someone has to like take big gasps, of, like coming up for air between laughing.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good though.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it was
fucking great. But yeah, no, that's about it from me. What about you? What about your game brain this week?
Yeah, I want to keep like of the lamb. I can't. I just can't. I don't know if I was getting really lucky, but I tried to do a run and an enemy just like vanished out of the arena and I couldn't get to the next stage and it bugged out like right near the end. This is not the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
It's really, really infuriating. Like beside just all the like cosmetic bugs and like there are lots of others that aren't like game breaking, but there are a handful that require a hard boot, and because it's a roguelike, you don't complete a run. So I've tried playing. I'm just waiting for a patch for that because it's been an absolute nightmare. It's been really disappointing because I was absolutely in love with it for like the first like 4 hours, but the further you get into it, the more like bugs just seem to cascade out of the whole thing, and nobody's really talking about it, which is really annoying. So I tried to do that. I don't really know. Yeah, I guess I've just been playing Multiverses with you.
You've been doing a little bit of Halo campaign.
Not the best of me. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm still playing Halo campaign with Beth. Really coming near the end of Halo 1 now, which is fun. I did something that wasn't related to games yesterday, other than drink a lot of tequila. I made some chocolate covered coffee beans.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah, it's pretty hype.
How are they?
And I had a really good time. They're all right, you know. I've got some right next to me because I think I'm going to need the extra energy to get through the show.
I mean, isn't it literally just? You say you make them, aren't you? Literally just put a pack of coffee beans in chocolate and then you like refrigerate them.
Yeah, there are 2 steps. Melt chocolate, pour beans in, and that's it. Like obviously put them in the refrigerator afterwards. But yeah, I mean, I've only had one. I had one yesterday because they were still cooling. So
what'd you
if
go?
You hear me crunching through the show.
What did you go with? Milk, dark, white?
Yeah, I went with milk, but I thought maybe white would be. I'll do that next time. Maybe I'm interested.
Yeah, white would be
White
my
chocolate coffee
choice.
beans.
I love me some
Yeah,
white chocolate. Yeah.
yeah. I just thought maybe I need to get the basics right first. And the thing is, there is a problem. There is a dilemma here because you're meant to like fish the beans out one at a time and keep like spread them out. I didn't have the patience for that. Like, I'm not fucking getting chopsticks and tweezers and pulling beans out one by one.
Yeah.
So I essentially have made a giant coffee chocolate flapjack. Like, it's all just like a solid piece of chocolate with gold full of coffee beans. So I'm just like snapping them off individually. But yeah, it's a good time.
Nice, man.
But yeah, that's kind of it. I was really tempted to buy Curse to Golf that came out this week. I was kind of in the mood for something like that. I think it's called Curse to Golf. Yeah, it's like a golf roguelite.
Oh, yes, I've seen this. Yeah, I literally saw this on the
Yeah.
store. I stumbled across it when we were looking for party games, and I, like, flagged it in my brain. I was like, that's a save for later sort of thing. Like, it looked really interesting, yeah.
Yeah. I could just go for something like that right now. It's like 17 quid, you know. So I was considering getting it on
17
Switch.
quid. Right, is
Yeah.
that expensive? Jesus.
I thought it was pretty cheap.
Fucking rip-off, dude.
Yeah, but I didn't. I decided against it in the end. I wanted to play a bit more Monster Hunter, but like, I just wasn't feeling it. It was just too intense. So yeah, that's been it. I guess maybe now's a good time before we like move on from this to just kind of shout out to everyone in the chat. We've got Joaquin in the chat, regular here to say hi. Hello,
Love
buddy.
you,
Having
boy.
Taco Bell. Yeah,
He's having Taco Bell?
He's having Taco Bell.
I had my
yeah.
first Taco Bell the other week.
You did, yeah. What did you think?
Well, we talked about it on the show. It was pretty decent. I gave it like a 7.
Interesting.
Like, it wasn't bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, that's definitely fair.
Yeah.
Did your stomach explode afterwards?
It was a little bit dodge, like, quite soon after, like on the same night, but like the day after I was fine. And then, I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of fine. And considering, like I said, I had the volcano burrito. I think I got off pretty lucky.
You got off the hook, all right? Yeah.
Rolled the dice and came out on top.
Yeah, good for you, man. Yeah, the fucking diarrhea skill check really landed in your favor.
Yeah, it's like D&D, right? Taco Bell. Like, roll 12 or higher. Shit.
Yeah, or your gut explodes. Yeah. All right. Well, there is a lot, Tim. There is a lot, and so I wanted to just start. We'll go through it at our own pace, and I just wanted to start with a couple of bits and bobs, really. The first bit and bob being the Marvel and Disney showcase that got announced at the beginning of the week. I think it's September the 9th. You know, this is obviously the first time that Marvel and Disney have done anything like this. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, what is that? Is it piqued your interest? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a good sign of things to come. Like, I think we'll see. I think that's like the start of just like, hey, we're gonna like probably start making a lot more games that aren't just made by Insomniac. So like, because if this is a show moving forward, right, like there's going to be more. I know we've got Black Panther on the way and Midnight Suns and stuff, which is probably what we'll see at that show. Like, majority, I think those will be the headliners, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think it just goes to show, like, if this is moving forward, we'll see more games like that come out of like loads of other studios, and they'll probably just start handing out the sort of characters and IPs sort of all over the place, hopefully. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, the only thing that I really hope comes out of this is a Mando game, because we've been talking about that for a long time. You know, it's become a fantasy in like every Xbox player's head that the Coalition is making a Mandalorian game, but like I don't think that's like, it's not a thing. We've all just like spoken about it enough that now we think it's a thing. Like there's no evidence to suggest that that's happening. Nonetheless, if a Mandalorian game got announced, that would be very exciting. Is there anything in particular that you would like to see come out of this show? Bearing in mind it's it's all of Marvel. What else does Disney own? What don't Disney own? You know?
Yeah, I mean, top of my list is definitely the Mando thing, like 100%. I don't really know what else, to be honest. I mean, I don't know how far along that Black Panther game is. Do you?
I think Jeff said it was quite early still.
Yeah, because I was about to say, like, to see some like gameplay of that would be kind of cool. But then, like, I don't know. I think that's probably a bit too early for that, right?
I think we'll probably get an announcement. We'll get an announcement
Yeah.
trailer, like maybe CGI or something.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. Yeah, nothing really springs to mind. Yeah, I think just the Mando game announcement would be kind of hype. And just to see if it's a thing. And I wouldn't say no to just seeing some more Marvel Midnight Suns, right? Maybe another character release or two or something like that. I think that'd be pretty hype because that was on my radar as one of my, top 3 games coming this year. Until the apocalypse of game delays.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that old nut. Yeah.
yeah.
Dearie me. Well, I'll just shout out the chat while we're on the conversation. Joaquin says, I think Disney's game strategy is quite interesting. Partner with developers you trust without worrying about overhead or recouping. I'll bet Warner Brothers is going to follow suit, especially when Multiverses is a huge hit and was made by a non-Warner Bros. Team and topped MPD for last month. Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
I think it is a.
You think Warner Bros. Are going to do the same thing, like handing out their licenses and stuff to?
Well,
developers?
we know Warner Brothers have been struggling for a bit, like in terms of profits. It's why we keep hearing these conversations, on the grapevine of like a possible acquisition or like some of the studios and IPs being sold off. Whether it's like just NetherRealm or obviously they've got the DC license at the moment as well, and they did have Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
But that's like, everything is fucking blown up this week, so that's another conversation. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that happening. I think it's good. I think it's really bad. Like it's creatively stifling when just one studio has the license for a game and that's it. Like you look at EA and what they did with Star Wars for the last decade. Like there's more renewed interest in Star Wars in the gaming space in the last few years because Respawn were handed a single game.
Yeah.
From 1 was a nightmare. Battlefront 2 was also a nightmare. It became a not nightmare after a lot of work, but that it took so long. Like what was accomplished there? So yeah, I think it's good that at least for now that these IPs can be handed out to different studios.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't once upon a time there was like a rumor there was like a Wonder Woman game in development.
No, that's the thing.
That is.
Yeah, no, Monolith are making it. I think so. Same studio that did Love War.
Yeah.
Midlife.
Yeah. So
I think it was announced at the Game Awards last year, and I think no platforms were announced, and there was kind of some speculation that there are some ongoing exclusivity talks, like a lot of, because that was at the time. I think shortly after Sony had just announced Spider-Man 2 and then Wolverine, and so we were having the conversations back there. Does Xbox need a superhero thing? And so everybody was saying, maybe there's some negotiation going on, but Xbox just don't do that anymore. They just don't. They're interested in money hatting third-party games for exclusivity. Game Pass day one, yeah, but not exclusivity. So
no, it's not really their style, and these days, is it?
Yeah. I guess while we're on the topic, and this is maybe quite a good segue to actually talk about the Lord of the Rings thing, just while we're kind of on the topic of, like IPs being distributed and handed out and things like that. So there are 2 Lord of the Rings things. The first story being that Take-Two, or Private Division, which is a subsidiary of Take-Two, are to publish a Lord of the Rings game. So they're not making it, they're publishing it. And that's like, you look at that and you're like, wow, that's good news. Who's the studio doing it? And it's Weta Workshop. And Weta Workshop are like a well-known studio in film effects. They're the team that were involved in the Lord of the Rings trilogy for special effects and prop design.
Okay.
They opened a digital game studio in 2014, but have done nothing since. I'm confused, Tim. I'm confused and I'm scared. Why did Monolith get to make 2 knockout hits with Middle Earth: Shadow of War, and now the Lord of the Rings IP is being given to Weta Workshop for their debut game, and whoever's making Gollum. Who's making Gollum? Does anybody care?
No.
Gollum looks bad. It looks really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. It's really weird, isn't it? It's such a prestigious IP in my eyes, and they're just giving it to like baby studios and stuff like that. For like their first, like you said, their first real game. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Lord of the Rings games they've always been bangers too. Like even like the old ones on like PlayStation 2, like people love those games.
Yeah.
Like they always release bangers, and I think they always sell quite well. So I don't understand why this IP just gets like bootlegged out. Like I just don't understand why it's always in the bargain bin.
Yeah, it's so frustrating because it's like one of those IPs that's like I'm likely gonna buy a Lord of the Rings game no matter what if it's like a good looking game. Yeah, it's not about fucking
100%.
Gollum and eating fish and throwing stones. Do you know what I mean?
And the weirdest
and
voice
like
actor ever.
having a split personality. Yeah, like so. Because we like the Tolkien estate is so protective over Lord of the Rings. Maybe until very recently, now with the TV series coming up, like they just don't. They're very, very careful. So it's so weird to me. They're like, yeah, you make a Gollum game, you make a game. Like it's your first one, but just take it. So, like maybe this has something to do with the second part of this whole story is that Embracer acquired the rights to the Lord of the Rings IP. That like, it's not it is huge, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Like everything, man, everything, not just games, the films, the soundtrack, like everything.
Everything.
Why Embracer?
Yeah, it's crazy. But like, do we even know how much this went for?
No.
Is there a figure?
They kept it a secret. No, they kept it a secret. And this was like Embracer were very sneaky this time, like because they acquired a couple more studios as they do. Tripwire was one of them, for example, known for Killing Floor and Maneater. Is that it? The shark game.
Yeah, I think it's Maneater. Yeah.
Munch. They acquired them. They've also made another publisher acquisition, which they're not disclosing yet, for an undisclosed sum. They've acquired a publisher, so that was someone who's not small. I don't know. Like, imagine if they just gobbled up like Devolver or some shit. That's not off the cards now. They literally acquired Gandalf.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I think it'd be really interesting to see like how much it went for to get that figure, because I'd like to think something like Lord of the Rings, with all the potential there is with that, like that shit's got to go for a pretty penny, right? Like that's one of the biggest IPs just of all time, right? It's got to be it's up there with like Harry Potter and all that sort of stuff, and not quite Marvel, but
in terms of recognizability, yeah, for sure. I don't think it's as profitable because they just don't make as many Lord of the Rings products.
It is really weird, like you said. It's almost like they're quite protective over it, and they're like, oh, we don't want to like soil like the prestigious like name that is Lord of the Rings, like and then they just do stuff like this. Really weird.
It's kind of like they just got tired.
Yeah. Just like, well, we got to do something with it, right? Like we've been sitting on this golden egg for a while. Let's just fucking sell it, I guess. Like, it is that sort of like attitude, you can tell. Yeah.
And just as like a reminder, dear audience, what Embracer have accumulated as of August 2022. 13,800 employees from 40 different countries, 120 internal development studios. Like just for Xbox has like, how much did I say? Like 23 at this point, something like that. Yeah, it's like low 20s, which is a lot for a single like publisher to have. 120.
Yeah, it's a lot.
850 owned or controlled IP/franchises. 220 games in active development.
Fuck.
like it's scary, man.
Yeah, it kind of makes you think are they just churning out like loads of quick games, like quick little cash grab games, or if this is a good thing, maybe because they've got so many internal studios, they're going to like cram them all together and get like make one really big team working on a Lord of the Rings game or something like that, right? Like it could be a good thing, but you just don't know. I mean, they're definitely setting up. I can tell you that much.
Well, yeah, I mean, they had a showcase like last week. Embracer had a showcase, and they showed off, a number of games. Mostly like AA stuff or like kind of indie stuff. Like remember that they own Gearbox. Embracer acquired Gearbox a few years back.
Yeah.
So like they aren't fucking around. Yeah, like 25 AAA games expected in the next 4 years. Like there's clearly a lot going on here. Yeah, now they own Lord of the Rings. Yeah, anyway, it's just an interesting parallel with the whole discussion around Disney, using their IP and now Embracer and how they're going to use that. They said in the documents, in the acquisition documents, there's unexplored territory here. What is it? There are other opportunities, including exploring additional movies based on iconic characters such as Gandalf, Aragorn, Gollum, Galadriel, Eowyn, and other characters from the J.R.R. Tolkien universe. And I don't know how I feel about that. To be honest with you.
I do kind of agree on the statement that there is unexplored territory there. I've always said like a cool movie for like, or a game with like what Aragorn was doing when he was like Strider, when he was like
Strider.
What did they call it? It wasn't mercenary. Ranger, that was it. When he was like a ranger,
right.
Like all those years he was like living out in the wild and like, you could create like a kind of like a Witcher kind of thing, but with like Aragorn, couldn't you? It could be kind of cool. Like there's definitely like potential there. I do kind of agree.
And so I suppose like before we kind of move on from this topic, because it is you could go on and on about this, but like Joaquin notes in the chat as well that Warner Brothers has stopped licensing Mortal Kombat for merchandise, and this only tends to happen when you're getting ready to sell new IP. Getting ready to sell the IP. So that's really interesting. I don't think Embracer acquired Warner Brothers, if that's
let's go.
Implication.
If Microsoft get like NetherRealm, that'd be so sick. I'd love that.
Big doubt. I wouldn't be surprised if Sony are looking at Warner like NetherRealm as well. They're trying to lock down fighting game, So
yeah.
Prepare for the worst, and then you'll always be disappointed. Something like that.
Yeah. On the topic, I remember there's that YouTuber like Maximilian dude or whatever his name is.
That's the one.
The guy with the fighting game. I watched a video of his that was basically saying that he thinks and is guessing, and it's potentially rumored that like Arc System Works could be making the next Killer Instinct or something.
Yeah, I think he has said something like that before.
Yeah, and I don't know if he knows. I mean, he tends to just like speculate and do this sort of stuff. Like it's content at the end of the day. But
yeah,
I think that'd be kind of hype if that was the case, and it would fit perfectly because Killer Instinct is that sort of. I guess it's more hyper fighter than not, right? It's very combo centric and very fast.
I think so.
So it definitely fits more into DBZ fighters sort of genre than it does like a NetherRealm game. But I mean, that'd be sick because Arc System Works did such a fucking fantastic job with Dragon Ball Fighters. I'd be pretty excited if they took up Killer Instinct.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think most people want to see Killer Instinct come back because it had a really good run being revived, and it's not often you get games like fully rebooted like that and get the full treatment, and be that successful. It didn't gain the traction they probably wanted it to because it was early Xbox One, etc., and then obviously Iron Galaxy got taken off it. And all of the stuff that followed. But yes, Arc System would be, I think that would be a great choice to continue the franchise. They need someone. They need someone, and fighting game devs are in such short supply.
Yeah.
So. Oh. All right. I've gone back and forth about wanting to touch on this before we kind of get onto the news stories, but I think maybe we can just skim over the top of it. But like, there's been a lot of drama on gaming Twitter in the last few days. And you believe it or not, it stemmed from Halo.
Really?
But like, the source of all evil.
Drama doesn't tend to come from Halo, so that's a bit weird.
No.
That's a little bit weird.
So really, this got propelled by a YouTuber who shall not be named because, in the interest of not creating like witch hunt and platforming shit takes. But how this all started was like last week. Unishek, who is the community manager over at 343, replied to a comment about asking about game dev and what that's kind of like these days, and is it harder, etc., etc. And he put together a little document and said, like, well, these are the reasons why essentially game dev is harder now than it used to be. The coordination of 400 to 500 people, networking expectations are a lot higher for networking, and things have to be airtight. We're working on 4K textures. There are there's more textures and information inside like a single texture than there were in entire games like back in 2000s. Et cetera, et cetera. So it's like the scale of development is so much bigger, and that makes things harder. That was the answer. Immediately, a lot of very unhappy people decided that this was a defense of, like bad game releases, or the state Halo. I can't believe that this isn't an excuse for a bad. Okay, like, nobody said that. Like, not a single soul has tried to imply that. Like, these can be mutually exclusive. Mistakes can be made, but also modern dev can be harder than. So because people like to point back to like early 2000s. Oh, look at Halo 2 and 3. Stacked in content. How did you manage to get things right then, but you can't make as much content now? And this isn't just a Halo thing. This is like just across the industry. And so this has been like an ongoing. If you watch gaming YouTube, you will have kind of come across a bunch of people, like for right and wrong, who have been like upset about some trends in games nowadays, right? Releasing early or like buggy, whatever it is. And what happened on the Twitter thread is that this YouTuber said the following: anytime I hear people say game development is harder nowadays, it usually feels like a deflection of criticism and an affirmation that I should always expect less as time goes on. They didn't seem to have any problems making a scoreboard or functional custom games in 2004. And the conversation really just devolved into well, no, like things were easier to develop for back then. Plus, crunch was not a very, it was something that happened regularly, and therefore people suffered. People really suffered. And so the conversation just evolved from there. And 15, 20, 25, 30 devs from big studios, Ubisoft, Activision, Blizzard, Respawn, all jumped in and said, this is a fucking appalling take. This is appalling. Like, you're not informed on this at all. Like, things are harder to develop for. And every time the conversation, I tried talking to a few people about this, but every time it's like, oh, I'm not, so you're saying I'm not allowed to criticize things because dev's hard. No. Didn't say that. Never said that. It's mutually exclusive. It's like that tweet, the one where the thing on Twitter where they're like, Twitter's the only place where like well-articulated sentences get misinterpreted. It's like, I like pancakes, and then someone will be like, what, so you hate waffles? No. No. That's not, these things can happen together, and I'm just kind of frustrated and upset that there is like a vector of people here who are really hell-bent on, like, there is a blurred line between criticism and harassment, especially when it's being delivered over Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Like, like you saying this needs to be fixed is criticism. Saying that on repeat every 2 days becomes harassment. Right? It's ad nauseum at that point, and like, I don't really have anything else to add. It's just kind of it kind of became a big deal because there's like I said, a small section of gamers who are like, you need to crunch sometimes. Like, if you want to make something good, like, you need to sacrifice some of your time or some of your health. And it's like, this is such a fucking abhorrent take. That's horrible.
No.
How can you operate under that? sort of belief system.
Yeah, that's not a thing. Crunch should never be a thing. If the products and development is roadmap correctly, and like the pressures of the gaming industry and gamers, don't say like, because like the gaming industry has grown so much since people are talking like, oh, back in 2004 you could make games. Like gaming was like a lot smaller back then. Like it's grown substantially, like this industry, and therefore there's a lot more gamers to cater for. Gamers are a lot more impatient these days. They expect more for less all the time. So that's where this crunch comes in. None of that existed before. Like it was more relaxed. And then on top of that, yes, it is harder to develop games because games are getting more and more intricate. You have to not only push the boundaries with just textures and technology and stuff like that, but you also have to push the boundaries of new ideas because people don't want the same shit over and over again because you're going to get criticized for that too. So it's just like
Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's always going to get harder. That's just fact. And the worst thing is people are just getting more and more impatient at the same time. So yeah, people just need to suck it up and realize that game development is harder to make new things and invent new things as well, like use new systems and stuff like that, push the boundaries in all those regards. And that's just going to take more time, whether you like it or not. Sure, like the tools we have are also advancing to make game development not easier, but like the tools are more advanced to cater for those 4K textures and all that sort of thing. Sure, yep. But like I don't know, man. It's stupid, and I'm in complete agreement. Where it's just no, it's just it is that, and I just think gamers these days are fucking toxic.
Well, yeah, like I don't know what more else you can say. Like, you're not changing anyone's mind over Twitter, are you? But it's just sad. Like the argument that like sometimes you have to go above and beyond to make a better product or to do a better job. But it's like yes, like I understand that in principle, but I guess it's more of a problem relying on that. In print, like that's a thing that should happen to meet my expectations of a product, or it can happen. It's like no, like guys, put people first. Like it's really fucking telling when you're putting a product in front of people.
Yeah,
and I do think it like part of this comes down to. I know we're like really wandering off topic, so I do apologize, but just let me finish my rant. I think it's really telling when people are like really eager to dehumanize. Like companies, like I'm on this show. I whine about like corporations quite regularly, and capitalism, etc. But that doesn't mean that 99% of companies are not made up of people who are just doing their jobs and come home, want to earn a paycheck and sleep at night. Yeah. Like that should be the North Star. The North Star is like, let's empathize and respect the people doing what they're trying to do for us, not get me a good product at all means necessary. And, if that happens to mean that you get crunched, well, then that's just...
Yeah, suck it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just have to... Sometimes you have to go above and beyond for the good of the product. It's like, no. Yeah. People come first.
Exactly, yeah. You should never put, like, health and all that sort of stuff. And, it all comes into play, like, mental well-being and everything from being overworked. You should never put that over... a product. Like you said, yeah, people should always come first. Yeah, 100%.
So I hope Unishake felt a bit vindicated watching that. That loads and loads of devs came, and of course the same like chicken shits who were talking, like who tried to chat shit about it, didn't say a word, just retreated once loads of devs came in and said, yeah, no, this is pretty gross. This is a pretty gross take. Modern dev is harder. You're like, can you just believe us when we tell you that? We're not lying to you. We're not trying to like pull one over you. So anyway,
always a conspiracy.
That's been kind of the drama.
It's always a conspiracy.
Yeah, always a conspiracy. Yeah, video games. That's the industry to do it in for sure. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the first news story. Then we've got a couple. First thing is that Xbox put out an official statement I'm not sure about the capacity that it was put out in, but they essentially said that Xbox One did in fact have less than a 2-to-1 sales ratio compared to PS4. I mean, we kind of already knew this, but they stopped reporting like console sales back in like 2014 or something once they realized they fucked up. So I suppose I just kind of wanted to ask you like how you feel about the Xbox One generation on reflection. Like now that we kind of have that tied up in a bow, we know it was less than 2-to-1 ratio against PlayStation. How does that gen kind of feel to you?
Like you said, it kind of makes sense. It doesn't shock me at all. Yeah, if someone were to ask me and just like a rough figure, yeah, I would probably say like a 2-to-1 or maybe less. Like this figure does not shock me. It wasn't a fantastic generation. It got better towards the latter of its life cycle, but it wasn't fantastic. We can all agree that the announcement of the Xbox One and its launch from hardware to gaming was pretty poopy. And then they started taking it in a better direction. You know, they took it away from the whole it's an all-in-one machine to it's just a gaming console, guys. You know, like, and they stripped out all that bullshit Connect stuff as well. Yeah. And then we started to move in the right direction, but at that point the damage was done, right? You know, at that point people first impressions mean a lot, especially when people are looking to buy a console for the generation. You know, people look at those reveals and they're like, you know, they go into it and they're like, this showcase, this like E3, like this reveal of the next generation is what's gonna persuade my pre-order for the next generation, you know, after the show ends. And for a lot of people that ended up being PlayStation. So yeah, it doesn't shock me, but looking back on it, I don't have like awful memories of the Xbox One generation, like, because like I said, it did get better. So like overall, you know, I'd probably give it like a 7, maybe like an 8 or something like that. An 8 maybe a bit generous. Yeah, like a 7. Like it was good. Like, it was definitely good. But yeah, its start was like a fucking 4. It was awful.
Yeah. Well, that's the tricky thing, isn't it? Though it's because they obviously they fucked up with the messaging at the beginning of the gen. So I got hiccups like out of absolutely nowhere. The coffee beans really slipped down my gullet. Yeah, but like they had like a decent games lineup for the first 2 years. Like it was pretty good. And then
not
they
when it
just,
first
like,
launched though.
Yeah,
it was dry when it first launched.
No, it was.
What did it launch with? It launched with Rise.
Like Rise, Dead
Crimson
Rising
Dragon.
3.
Let's go.
Loco Cycle, yeah.
Yeah.
There were 4. I think it launched like Forza was near the launch, so was Killer Instinct.
What, Motorsport?
Yeah, I think there was a Motorsport.
Okay, yeah, I guess it wasn't. Yeah, I guess it wasn't all.
There's some things I'm forgetting. As well. Like it wasn't a bad lineup at all. Like the critical reception started to get a little bit wobbly, but overall it was still pretty good. Like people were quite excited about Dead Rising 3, yeah, and then Sunset Overdrive was just a couple of years down the road, and then we had cancellations. Then we had Scalebound gone, Lionhead Studios gone.
Yeah, that was rough.
And then
Fable Legends, yeah, gone.
Fable Legends, yeah, that's right. And then and then everything else followed, really, and then a lot of the games just dissipated. But then Xbox started doing a lot of work in other areas, like, and that work like persists to this day. Like, there's a lot of groundwork put in place in the Xbox One generation. We got Games Pass at the end of Xbox One.
Yeah.
Let's remember that.
Yeah.
We saw Xbox's renewed efforts to make good hardware. Xbox One X. I love that console. Xbox One X.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
That was 2017, 2018, maybe. So yeah, I think 7 is probably fair. They started ramping up with the acquisitions towards the end, but I mean, let's face it, like we're still not seeing. We still haven't seen the fruits of that yet, really. So yeah, some good groundwork was definitely put in place, but it was a bit spotty.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We got Havoc B in the chat. Hi. That's your first time here. Hello.
Hello.
Europe is very PlayStation focused. Been in the UK for about 10 years now, and there's a night and day difference with how Americans perceive Xbox and how the British perceive Sony. Yeah, there's a whole thing about that, isn't there? That Europe, like, I think the UK is like quite mixed, but a lot of Europe is quite heavily PlayStation. Like Xbox's main area is North America.
Really?
Like that's the that's the territory that they've been winning back this gen. I think in the 360 era, they had good success in Europe because of like FIFA deals and like card.
Okay.
But that's kind of dried up and gone away. Yeah, I think Havoc is right. PlayStation is very dominant in Europe.
Okay. All right.
But I mean, it makes sense, right? Like Xbox, it's their home territory. Like North America, it's an American-made product, Xbox. Whereas PlayStation is Japanese, and so
that's true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's quite interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how it all shakes out. But especially if they do get this Activision deal through, get caught on Games Pass, it would be really interesting to see how that kind of changes over time. Especially with territories. Does Europe suddenly switch to Xbox? I'm struggling to get sentences out right now.
Really?
My lips, I feel like a half of my sentences I'm putting words in the wrong place. Like I feel like there's still alcohol in my lips.
You've been doing a decent job.
Is it legible? Okay,
yeah.
as long as it's coherent. Okay, that makes sense.
It's relatively coherent enough for me. So
well.
That's fine.
A lot of our conversations are nonsense a lot of the time, so hopefully we're making sense to people in the chat.
Yeah.
Dear listener. All right, let's get on to the Games Pass editions for the month, dude. With the headline, well, initially it was Immortals Fenyx Rising coming at the end of the month, which I think is quite exciting. I'm going to... I want a game like this right now. I'm vibing for a game like this right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty exciting as well. I think I'd be more excited if I wasn't playing Tales of Arise right now. But I've got a single player game I'm pretty knee deep in. But yeah, man, this game, I genuinely almost bought this game quite a few times when it came out. I was really tossing up the idea of buying it. And I think it evened out at a high 70s or something, didn't it? On OpenCritic, or 80s maybe. It was pretty decent. It was pretty decently received. And it's just it's kind of like a bit of a wacky RPG, right? I don't think it takes itself too seriously, and it's quite, it's just a bit of a fun sort of experience. But yeah, man, I'm totally vibing for it, and I think once I finish and I'm looking for a new single player game, I think it'll be next on my list, or definitely pretty high up there. I mean, I'm a bit on the JRPG train right now. I think after Tales of Arise, I think I might do Octopath Traveler, but I'm not sure because that might take my entire life to complete. Because there's 8 different characters and each of them have their own campaign. So yeah, but yeah.
What sort of game is that? Is that a strategy game?
Yeah, it's like a turn-based, old school RPG. Cool, really pretty, pixel art. Turn-based. Yeah, it's on Games Pass right now. So
it was a big deal when it came to Games Pass, wasn't it? Because it wasn't on Xbox at that point. It's quite a big Japanese game. I think it was one of the first ones that kind of opened the floodgates to a lot of the Japanese games that we've had coming out on Xbox over the last few years. And we know Phil's been working really hard.
Excellently received as well. I think it got straight nines. And I did boot it up briefly, and I love the art style so much. It's so pretty, and I love it. Is very nice. Combat. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a single player experience, it might be worth a go.
Yeah, maybe. I've kind of been vibing for something like that. But I've also I've had it on my backlog for a while. I kind of want to play Wasteland. I still kind of want to play Wasteland. I've heard such good things. Why 10?
10 HD. 10 HD.
Well, I don't know what it means. Why is he chanting? He's putting a Japanese curse on me.
Hell, play 10HD. So one of my favorite games. It's literally my favorite game of all time.
It's just you. Oh, right, I've got you. Well,
It's on
I
Games.
mean, no promises. Maybe one day.
Yeah, what were you saying? Wasteland 3.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. It's a good
I've
option.
heard such good things about that, and I like those XCOM style games. I like that it's, it's got those deep RPG layers that maybe XCOM doesn't have. It's storytelling. It's like dark comedy. It's co-op there as well, if that ever wanted to happen. Anyway, just consider because it's on Games Pass, I'd be able to stream it as well. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just feeling around at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, with the delays happening, there's not much going on. We have our share of multiplayer games and stuff like that. So yeah, why not dip your toes in and try something new, like a big single player RPG or something like that, like Wasteland or Octo or Fenyx Rising. They're all good options.
Yeah. I just had a quick look on OpenCritic as well. Fenyx Immortals Rising. No,
78?
Immortals Fenyx Rising. 79.
Oh, I thought it was 78. I really had 78
Nice
in my
try.
brain.
Yeah, nice try.
Yeah.
But just to cover the rest of the games lined up for this month, we've got Coffee Talk, we've got Midnight Fight Express, Exapunk's Opus Echo of Star Song, Commandos 3 HD, Tinykin,
Cute.
and Immortality. The latter, Immortality, was reviewed in its print. It was given an early review by Edge, and if you don't know, Edge are a like prolific, but they're well known for being very harsh on reviews. They gave Immortality a 10 out of 10, which is the 24th game in its history to do so.
Damn.
It's like an episodic drama, Immortality, choice and stuff. But they gave it a 10 out of 10. So let's keep an eye on that one.
Damn. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what? It's like a what do they call it? Telltale sort of game.
Interactive drama. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Interactive drama.
Nice.
So yeah, worth keeping an eye on that one. I think that's going to fly under the radar a little bit, but its critical reception is looking really good. Joaquin says in the chat, don't know if you guys saw, but Sega has a new free-to-play shooter coming out next year called Hyenas, and an hour of gameplay leaked. It's Rainbow Six Siege mixed with EFT. I don't know what EFT means, dude. I'm really sorry. There's too much rum in my tum. There's too much rum in my tum to make sense of that. Looks good. Keep an eye out. I saw this, but I didn't see it. I saw the the
ET is
of it.
EFT is Escape from Tarkov.
Ah, nice.
Okay, that's really interesting. So it's like a very slow, methodical shooter, because Siege and Escape from Tarkov are very slow, sluggish, like shooters, like realism, like hyper-realism.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I had no idea this was a thing. Like, this is literally fresh into my brain. I literally didn't know.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw that it pop up on my feed, but I didn't get a chance to look at it. Yeah, interesting. We will keep an eye out. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Shout.
All right. Well, if you're still here, everyone, we would really appreciate a like. If you're new here, we'd love a sub.
Yeah.
If you want to follow us on Twitter, head over there and do that. I get in our argument to people and I get blocked and muted really often. And then I realise I'm just screaming to this. And then I come to a podcast and I whinge about it. It's an endless cycle. And if you want to be part of that cycle, you are more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, back him up. We need to get an army behind him.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I need. I need my own echo chamber, so I never feel like I'm losing.
Exactly. Yeah, like your own little online support group. You can just
yeah, that's right. Yes, so that would be great. That really helps out the show. And we had some amazing engagement last week as well. Big pat on the back, everyone. Like no joke. That's for us. The numbers that we got last week was really, really fun, and me and spoke about it. It's just very encouraging. So thank you very much.
Yeah. No, it's really nice to see, and we do love all the comments, all the questions, stuff like that. It makes the show a lot more fun and interactive. So do it, and we love it.
Thanks, friendos. QuakeCon is up next, Tim. QuakeCon. The standout things. There are a couple of standout things here. which I will summarize for you because I'm assuming you didn't see much of this.
No.
Essentially, we had some additional Games Pass additions. Oh, hang on. What's this? I'm getting a live feed in direct from.
I don't have this feed.
Direct from Phil Spencer. Yeah, sorry, I didn't get a chance to see you. But
from Phil Spencer.
oh yeah, he's saying, fuck, fuck Xbox consoles, PC only, bitch.
Damn.
So I thought it was a bit cruel. I thought it was a bit mean that he said that to
that's
me.
cold.
Like, considering I run an Xbox podcast, I thought that was a bit much, but I'll get over it, Phil. Don't you worry. That was a really bad bit. So they added a load of Quake and Wolfenstein stuff, all to just PC Games Pass, which
we're a unified platform.
Right. Well, I even messaged you before, right? And I was like, "Oh, Quake Champions! Achievements have just appeared. Like, you can get Xbox achievements for them, you know." And it said on True Achievements that the platform was Xbox. It ended up just being a mistake. The Quake Champions is coming to PC Games Pass. Yeah, it was such a debate, and it's just like, man, like there is some elders. I don't know. Frankly, I don't know if I would like main any of this, but I would like the option, man. Yeah. I'd like to try this at least. I don't know. It is just annoying. I hate to be a broken record, but like it does rub me the wrong way that stuff comes to PC and doesn't come to Xbox. Bear in mind, PC don't play as a subscription service. You know, we still pay for gold. Like, obviously they can pay for Games Pass, but we pay more. Like I feel like where's that extra money should go towards porting games. And well, I know it's not that straightforward. I know I'm just being a white little bitch, but you know.
Yeah, but I do agree that, like, regardless of it not being that straightforward, you know, like these are pretty like old games, right? I'm sure a little bit of effort you can make a console port. Like, sure, it's extra effort, but I think it's worth it, right? Just to keep like the other half sweet, right? Because like it just keeps happening, right? We just keep taking little gut punches all the time from like PC at the moment. Like they just keep getting stuff and we're not. And like you said, you know, we are paying for an online subscription service as well. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're just selling this whole like we're a unified platform thing without it really being unified. And it's just a bit odd. I don't know.
It doesn't feel like it's going both ways, and I think that's kind of the thing that's rubbing me the wrong way. You know, especially as maybe people who are like primary Xbox owners and don't use PC. I imagine this is great for people who have both. You know, because you're hoovering up all the benefits. You know, that cross play is there, that cross save is there. You cross buy, and then you get. But for console players, it's kind of like, oh, like my money's being invested in a platform that I'm not using, and that's
we just need to invest in a custom PC rig deck. Is
that all I need to do?
You got a spare $4,000, right?
Yeah, there it is between the sofa cushions.
Between the toes.
Between the toes, yeah, put it out my ear. Oh, how'd that go there? So that was the first thing. And I guess, do I have the list of games? Quake 4, Wolfenstein 3T. I think it's Return to Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
That's the one. And then there's like Elder Scrolls Battlespire and Elder Scrolls Redguard. I don't know what they are. I don't know what those games are. They're like £5 games. I had to look in the store. Like they're small. So I assume they're like old things. They might even be like text-based games.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
Maybe.
Second thing, there are 3 in total. I think big takeaways from QuakeCon was id very well. The lead of id, what's his name, Marty Stratton, head of id Software, confirmed that their next game is in development. It's just a little cock tease. You know, he said the team is hard at work on our next big game, but we're not ready to share details yet. What is it, Tim? Tell me.
Quake.
You think it's Quake?
Yeah.
All right. We got it sorted. That's open and closed case, ladies and gentlemen.
Quake or the next Doom. Well, no, because they said, what did they say? Confirm. Oh, they just said confirm next game. So yeah, it could be like a sequel to something. They didn't say new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And,
I mean, it just seems like Quake is trying to make a resurgence, right? For reasons that they're making another one.
yeah.
It just, I don't know. It seems quite likely.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely on the cards, isn't it? With all of the Quake stuff they're bringing back and testing the waters, it feels like they're testing the waters for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess in terms of time frame as well, Doom Immortal was March 2020, and Ancient Gods in the DLC packs 1 and 2 came out in October 2020 and March 2021, respectively. So I don't know. I'm assuming it'd have 2 teams, right? Most studios have that. That have maybe been working on this on the side. I don't actually. When did the first Doom come out? 2016.
2016, yeah.
So a 4-year cadence. So I think we can, going by that, we can maybe expect 2024 for its next game.
Yeah.
Seems sensible, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a while off. I don't even imagine we hear about. Maybe we hear about this next year, at the next showcase, whatever this project is.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see so. Yeah. My money's on Quake though.
We'll see. Yeah. All right. Next up, a PlayStation PC support. Really, a lot. Well, so there were some rumors earlier in the week that a PlayStation PC launcher would be coming that would include cross-buy support. Because there was some code found in the Spider-Man PC release that was a couple of weeks ago, whenever that was. And then it happened, right? The website is official, and they said, yeah, well, we're integrating more into PC, but there's no cross-save and there's no cross-buy. Like, PlayStation PC is now a branding, like it's a thing, and there still might be a launcher coming further down the line. They don't have their own launcher right now.
Yeah.
But, like, you can... I can't remember exactly. Like, I think you can sign in to your PlayStation account, through PC, etc. But there's no cross saving, no cross buy. So maybe it might just be like this is like just laying the groundwork. But they had a frequently asked questions bit, and they were like, no, there is no cross save, and no, there is no cross buy, which kind of tells me that they're committing to just not having that as a feature, and that seems weird. A bit sus.
Yeah, it seems a bit weird. Just buy it twice.
Yeah. I like money.
Also, do you remember
money?
Do you remember when PlayStation swore that nothing was ever going to come to other platforms and PC, and they said buy a PlayStation because this is the only place you'll be able to play these games. And then they immediately put it on PC and they make a PC launcher so you can buy it again. Bit weird, that.
Dude.
They did though. They were literally like, buy a PlayStation because you can't play this anywhere else but PlayStation. It's on PC. I don't know, man. I'm all for it, but they're just backtracking.
Yes.
They're just that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying no, they shouldn't come to PC. I'm just saying, like, they said it. They're just going back on what they said. That's the trigger.
You are right. But it's like the whole cross-gen thing, right? We believe in generations.
Sonic generation.
Horizon is cross-gen. Gran Turismo is cross-gen. God of War is cross-gen.
Is Ragnarok cross-gen?
Yes.
How's that shit going on a PS4? It's gonna look like ass.
Because it's just a DLC in it, mate.
Nice, dude.
Joking.
That was your imitation of a Twitter troglodyte.
That's right. Yeah,
nice.
That's right.
You did it.
The old troggers.
Hashtag troggers.
Yeah, no, that's not absolutely the case. Well, yeah, it's just, we spoke about this before. Yeah, it's just, supply is still bad. What's the point? Might as well. Other than a game here or there, just to, for PR fluff. Like, all right, look at Ratchet & Clank. This couldn't possibly be done on other consoles. Oh, look at Godfall. Look at fucking Godfall. This couldn't possibly be done on another console. Yeah. And then they made it work.
Yeah. But didn't they
lie?
Didn't they literally advertise Ratchet and Clank and all the tech behind it and stuff like that? And they were literally like, you just couldn't do this. Like, we wouldn't be able to do this unless we had a PS5 and the power that comes with PS5. Is it on PlayStation 4 as well?
No. To be fair, Ratchet and Clank only ever did come to
Okay.
PS5.
Yeah, okay.
And I think they, it was the thing where they used like very quick like level swapping and this, power of the SSD, etc., etc. But I mean that's fine. Eventually we'll get to a stage where Xbox are doing the same thing. So it was supposed to be at the end of this year. I think Dark Tide would have been the first. It's not even an exclusive, but the Xbox aligned game to have been Series X and S only.
Yeah.
And then Redfall and Starfield, we'd have had like sort of cascading games after that, but that's not happening for a while now. Woohoo!
Right.
All right, let's move on. My chest hurts, man.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot.
Yeah, I could tell you needed it. Everyone in chat, tell him he's doing great. This man's sweating tequila right now. Help him out.
I got some good stuff though. The thing is, because I got it from my friend, and I was like at the.
Do you want to specify it? It sounds dodgy. You said I got some good stuff from my friend.
Some good legal tequila.
Nice, thank you.
Yes. And I was at the spirit section, like, oh god, what is she like? Oh god. I was like, vodka, tequila, and then I got tequila. She doesn't like tequila.
Nice, mate.
For her 30th birthday, I got her a drink she does not like.
And does she like vodka?
Yes, she likes vodka.
Damn it. You fucked up.
That's a big L
yeah,
for the QRP.
So you ended up just you just chugged her a bottle of tequila, did you?
Well, so what I did, I thought, I'll do to make it up to you. I'll try and get, because obviously it was her 30th birthday, so everyone was trying to get her like wasted. So I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll go round and I'll be like a shot boy,
Shot boy.
Yeah, I'm like a shot boy. So I was going round with like a garden tray with shots in them, which, by the way, don't ever do that. Not that you ever would, because it would never come into your mind to do that. But I did that. Like the ones you used to like have little pots of plants in, it's like really flimsy.
Yeah.
I spilled. Yeah. So anyway, so I went round, and I was like, everybody just do shots. We've got to keep up, right? But nobody would do it unless I matched them. And here
classic.
We are. One day later, I've been talking for an hour, and my chest hurts, and I'm sweating. So,
jeez, man. You did it though. The best shot boy ever.
That's fine. Yeah. I think so. I thought it was quite good, but that's fine. All right, there's some Blizzard stuff, Tim. Let's talk about Blizzard now. I actually have a question for you. I was thinking about this before, and I'd be interested to hear what people think in the chat as well. If you're listening to the show afterwards, I'm interested to hear what you think. If Xbox had the opportunity to acquire just Blizzard, pretend they aren't part of Activision, had the opportunity to acquire Blizzard or to acquire Bungie, what would your pick be?
Blizzard.
It would be Blizzard, was it? Well, no hesitation.
I think so. Yeah. I think Bungie are a little bit of a one-trick pony these days, and I think they've put everything into Destiny. They've got all their eggs in one basket. Where I think you're just going to get a lot more versatility out of a company like Blizzard with all the different games they'll develop. You got Overwatch, you got this new survival game they're building and all that kind of stuff. Diablo, I just feel like they're just more versatile, and I feel like they have that polish that Xbox is looking for, and that Xbox is quite likes getting behind as well. So I'd go for Blizzard. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, and obviously Blizzard are bigger, like 3 times bigger. So considering the cost and everything, yada yada. Yeah, okay, that's interesting, because I was thinking about this the other day, and I think you can go back and listen to me on the podcast and be like, oh man, I hope if Xbox are on this acquisition spree, I hope they get Bungie. I hope Bungie comes back, because I think Bungie are just a very talented team, and their next game, Matter, it is going to be so chonking and stonking and slapping and whapping and bapping. It's going to be a big splash. It's going to make a big splash.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I just think they're a very talented team. I think I would. Well, that is a good point. Like, I think I would reluctantly pick Blizzard, and not because I think Blizzard are worse, just because I'd be like, well, actually, like, yeah, it fits the portfolio, right? There is like a bit more diversity there. They make more like I don't want to say PG, but maybe like inclusive games as well.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like Overwatch is very like, you know, Overwatch has one of the highest rate of like diverse player base.
Yeah.
Like it has like loads of women play and girls play Overwatch compared to like I think you look at shooters across the board, they're all fucking dude bro shooters, aren't they?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Apex does a pretty good job. Put it out there.
Yeah, it does.
But Overwatch has this very approachable kind of, you know, like Pixar feel to it. And World of Warcraft likewise, yeah. So yeah, no, I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting thing.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like we're getting some agreement in the chat as well. Bungie has a great studio, but Blizzard has a damn campus. Yeah, they are huge. Like I said, we would have to factor in money with this as well. But I mean, having said that, you know, PlayStation just paid a lot of money for Bungie.
Yeah.
3 billion or something, wasn't it? 2.5. Yeah, it was a lot. Okay, let's get on to the news. So there was essentially a little leak about a Diablo trailer, a release date trailer being announced at the Game Awards later this year. I think this is interesting for a few reasons. Blizzard will have to commit to platforms.
Oh, true.
I think realistically, we all think Diablo 4 is going to be multi-plat. But I think realistically, that is what we think. However, you can't help but think there's like a little... Like the door is cracked, right? There's a little crack in the door.
It's a
and
jar.
if that acquisition goes through... It's a jar. Yeah, very good. It's a jar. And like if the deal goes through, you can't help but think, like not even maybe, even if it's not full exclusivity, this is exclusive to Xbox for the first 3 months. Comes out. Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, so my question for you, Tim, and to our dear audience is: when do you think Diablo 4 is going to be coming out? Is it first quarter? Like when in 2023? And do we think there will be any form of exclusivity at all, or is it just going to be complete platform parity, assuming the deal goes through beforehand? Thoughts?
Well, I think in terms of release date, it was showed off at the Xbox showcase, right? It was there, the Games Pass, and everything there at that time of showing was within 12 months. So we know that, you know, based on that maths, it's definitely coming in the first half of next year, right? Whether it's the first quarter, I don't know, but it's coming in the first half. So my predictions are probably not first quarter. I think it'll be after March. I think it'll be sort of maybe like April, May time. Yeah, I don't think we'll see it in the first quarter. And in terms of like console release and stuff like that, yeah, I think it's going to be multi-plat. I think it will be quite interesting. Do you think they'll do a thing where they just show the trailer and then just not say any of the platforms it's coming to? It literally just says like coming like first half of like 2023, yeah, and there's just like no like icons there. Like that's like if that happens, that's even more sus. That is like they're not committing because they're waiting for like the deal to potentially come through. But I think regardless of this, I think it will be multi-plat, but I think it will get a Games Pass treatment. I think we will have it day one Games Pass. Yeah, regardless of that deal going through or not. I think that'll be the case. So I'm predicting multi-plat, but we get in Games Pass, and I'm saying first half of 2023, probably around April, May, maybe.
Yeah, I'm so mad about the first half of 2023. It's stupid. It's so stupid.
What? Just everything coming out in the first half of 2023?
Yeah, did we say last week that there's going to be a game every single day?
Every day of the year. There's a new release. My poor bank
Yeah.
account. I can't even imagine your bank account, dude. Rip.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's fun. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you've got to imagine none of us need exclusivity on these Blizzard games, but I think Joaquin is right in the chat that there does need to be Games Pass perks there. If not,
Yeah,
I'm
will.
assuming this
I
stuff
think
will
we
go
will.
straight into Games Pass, but like this needs to be everything but exclusive. We think about, I said this as well in the chat, but you think about there's a reason marketing rights are important, because the casual audience doesn't know any better. Like a lot of people still, I remember when I was at uni, I was my final year, I was speaking to someone and they were like, "Oh yeah, I've been playing a lot of Destiny, but it's only you probably haven't played that, have you? Because it's not on Xbox." What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it is.
Well, no, it's on all platforms.
Oh, yeah, I had that issue with a game. What was it? Where I thought it would literally was only on PlayStation. But Hogwarts. I literally thought Hogwarts was a PlayStation exclusive. The new Harry Potter game. And then you were like, "What are you talking about, you fucking idiot? It's coming to every platform." And I was like, "Oh."
Yeah. It's effective. It is effective, and it doesn't help that they intentionally like obfuscate the platforms. They are intentionally are like, "Oh, it's just our platform, maybe." At least in this video, like we're just gonna say console. It's PlayStation console. Yeah, so they do it on purpose, but yeah, it's effective ultimately, and that's why it's important to have that kind of Games Pass alignment with these games when the time comes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I think there definitely will be some Games Pass perks there, 100%. But it'll be multi-plat. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the second Blizzard thing, and this just came off Friday from the boys over at the Xbox 2 podcast, and I kind of hate doing this, but it was too exciting for me to not like. I don't like having a podcast about someone else's podcast. Like that's stupid. But like when people are like talking about seeing footage for games that are like years out, when people are like Jez is a legitimate insider. Like he sees stuff, and gets sent stuff in advance, so you can't not talk about it because it's news.
Mm-hmm.
And he spoke about the Blizzard survival game after having consumed a lot of rum. Actually, funnily enough, so my heart goes out to you. I know the feeling. The new IP Blizzard survival game, which I have expressed a lot of excitement about already. Not only because I think that sounds fucking amazing, I'm excited to hear about a new IP from Blizzard. I think this could be Blizzard's Starfield, in the sense that it's the landmark Xbox game from Blizzard.
Yeah.
This is exclusive. This is on Games Pass. This is our game now. this is ours now. So this is what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but this is what he said. It's codenamed Odyssey, so Project Odyssey. He's seen it and it looks amazing. And I'm just to bear in mind, Jez is a big Blizzard fanboy. Nothing wrong with that, but he loves Blizzard stuff, so I'm sure there's a little bit of bias here. Yeah. He said it looked a lot like what you imagine it looked like that. It's very high fantasy, very fairy tale, lots of magic forests and creatures. It's a fairy tale game with lots of base building, and there's merchant mechanics as well. It somewhat reminded him of Fallout 76, but it looked amazing. He kept saying this. He used the word amazing like 4 or 5 times. You can make your own vendors, make your own potion shop, and then sell those potions to other players. There are also really complex machinery within the fairy tale aesthetic. It was first person. The character had a bow and arrow, and it wasn't like World of Warcraft in the sense that it wasn't like an MMO. It's more an online survival like arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of it. Repeatedly said it looks amazing. It has that very Blizzard, MO look that Blizzard have, fairy tale, forest, and lots of magic. Thoughts?
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it sounds really cool. Weirdly enough, I kind of saw this game from like my own brain. I conjured up this game would be third person. I don't know why.
Yeah, I did as well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I mean, I'm not upset that it's first person, but I just weirdly had an image in my brain that it would be third. But yeah, no, it. I mean, it sounds awesome, man. Like the whole like, I'm totally into that sort of like graphic style. You know, like that sort of like ever wild, like almost cartoonish, like Blizzard feel to it. Like that just, yeah, that's just so awesome. And I think the world will look so beautiful, like just walking around it and just playing with your mates and surviving and just fucking just like role playing. I can see so much like cool ass role play coming out of this game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just sounds it sounds great, man. It sounds very sort of intricate with what you can do, like make your own vendors. I don't even know what that means, and like just yeah, I don't know. It just sounds really cool. Like the ability to create things and sell to like other players, like you were saying, like
Yeah.
that's cool.
So it's
I
an
don't think
in-game
I've ever
economy
seen
sort
that.
of thing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
seen that before. So, I mean, I know that you can like sell like in-game items to like other players for gold and stuff like that. I know that's been done in previous games, but to like conjure up your own things and then sell them and stuff like that, that's pretty cool. Yeah, man. I mean, there's nothing here that's sounds bad to me. It all sounds great. Yeah.
I think it's especially interesting because all of those sorts of games, those shared world survival games, Ark, Tarkov is one of them, right? Rust is one of them, right? I wouldn't really say something like Grounded is in this vein because that's kind of like a closed multiplayer lobby survival game. Like, yeah, Daisy, right? Yeah, like no, there hasn't been like a big AAA developer try to take this genre on, and I think that's what's quite exciting. You think about all the shortcomings, all the things that Ark does well, and all the things it doesn't do well, but then Blizzardify it.
Yeah.
Get rid of those bugs. Make it look good, run well, and then have an additional 2 or 3 layers of complexity and things that make you want to come back. It's what I find like really fucking Valheim. That's not like shared world, but you can have like 12 people in the lobby. I haven't played it, but I'm very interested in the game because it is this kind of that you have a dedicated, like a world that you can all jump into at different times, and you can just play that as a group of friends asymmetrically. Like you don't all have to be on at the same time. 2 of you can go in at 6 o'clock because you're both on, and then maybe if you're all on Friday, you can all play at the same time. Like I think that is there's a very appealing and alluring social element to that style of game. Like, in the early 2000s when we were coming into online gaming, it was like, oh, we can all play games at the same time, and that's really exciting, and that's always going to be exciting, and that's always going to be fun. But like having games that allow for that asymmetric multiplayer play, I think that has a really big potential to like get a lot of traction. Do you see what I'm saying? Am I making sense?
Yeah, no, I definitely see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, no, I completely agree with your whole take on the fact that it would be very interesting to see a AAA developer take on a title like this, because in the industry, like sure, these games are great, they're popular, and loads of people play them, but they do just lack that certain polish, don't they? And that's right. And they lack that. Like the expertise and the funding and the budget of like a AAA studio. So I think it'll be pretty sick to see Blizzard take this on. I'm very excited for this. Yeah, the moment it got announced, it was like music to my ears. I was like, yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
That's going to be good. Yeah. And like we know there's been a lot of internal buzz about this. You might remember from previous weeks that me and my good friend Jason had a bit of a chat off the books,
You did.
Jason Schreier. And he told me that, there's a lot of confidence in the director of the game, and he's reported himself
he
that
also
the team are very excited. He did. Unfortunately, Tequila. So yes, so super excited about that game. I'm so super excited about that game. I'm really, hoping we hear more soon. Yeah, we don't know how long it's been in development for. Quick shout out in our next story to Xbox teaming up with the Special Olympics for another Gaming for Inclusion esports event. I like that Xbox do these sorts of things, whether it's the adaptive controller or it's platforming events like this. I just wanted to give it a quick shout out because, but beside it being just like the cliche angle of like, oh, when everyone plays, we all win. That's the slogan that they use. I also think like, and this might be like a really selfish take. Like, I'm obviously happy that more people get to play games. That is fantastic. But I also think like, what if me, or like one of our friends, just like lost an arm?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know that's like kind of like very less small fry in the grand scheme of things. But like, it would be like 20 years ago if something happened to you and I could no longer play video games, that would like be that would have like a nested effect on my well-being.
Yeah.
Whereas now, that doesn't feel like it's totally infeasible that you could continue to play. Obviously limited in a few ways, but like you could continue to do that nowadays because Xbox in particular put a lot of effort into being exclusive and inclusive and accessible.
Yeah, no, I totally see where you're coming from. Yeah, it's nice to know that you wouldn't have to drop, like this massive hobby and lifestyle that you have currently. If something were to happen to you, yeah, definitely, it's kind of. Obviously nobody likes to think like that, like if something happens to you, but like, yeah, it does give you sort of like a peace of mind and stuff like that. And it's just,
right.
more inclusion, dude, is just, it's always good. Like, it's great. I literally just want people, no matter what, to just have fun and enjoy gaming.
Yeah.
Right. Just like I do.
That's right.
So great.
It's one of those few times that like supply and demand economics is really like I think has a two-way, like it's everybody wins.
Yeah.
Because like the market for people who are less abled or have difficulties are essentially not tapped into. And so, the people at the top are saying, oh, we can get money off these people. But of course, by doing so, they have to make things accessible. And so there now is demand. All of a sudden, there's demand because you've created a bridge between gamers and people who are like less abled. And I think that's really good. So, yeah, just want to give a quick shout out. It's always nice to see.
Yeah.
All right, big ticket story, Tim. It's Death Stranding time. What the fuck happened here, mate? What was that? Hello? I followed this story for the whole week. It was sussy to say the least. Xbox Game Pass PC, that's the Twitter, the Twitter handle, changed their profile picture to like a mossy, grassy, mountainous kind of environment, and people were like, "Is that Death Stranding?" And so somebody, of course, being the gamers of 2022, went and found the exact rock that they put there, in Death Stranding. They found the exact place, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, is this actually happening? Is this no way, no way?" And just so you know, the reason that this is happening is because 505 Games, the publishing label, published Death Stranding on PC, whereas of course Sony published it on console. So with this all happening, what are your thoughts about this? Is this like a massive W for Xbox, or is this like not a big deal, or like what do you think?
Well, it's another shaft to the old console players here. Let's go.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's yeah, man, it's just a W, right? I mean, there's just no way to see it not as a W, right? It's a great game that was seemingly just a PlayStation exclusive and always would be, in everyone's eyes. It's now made its way to a different platform, and it's a really good game, and it's Kojima, and I don't really know much more what to say. I mean, it's a great video game that, like I said, was seemingly PlayStation only. You could only play it on PlayStation, and now you can't anymore. You can play it on your PC.
I It's a bit of a controversial one, isn't it? Death Stranding. Like overall, it did review like pretty well. I think it was like low to mid 80s. But
Yeah.
it was a bit controversial because of the type of game that it is. You know, it's Amazon delivery simulator.
Yeah.
And this is a good Game Pass game though, right? This
Yeah,
is a good
it's
this is a good
fantastic.
subscription service game
Yeah.
because it's like risky. It's a. Am I gonna like this or not? You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just can't believe this happened. It's very, very weird, especially like we know how aggressive and defensive Sony are with their own IP. It's just so strange to me that this even happened. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like, I wonder if this has anything to do with Xbox's increasing relationship with Kojima. You know, like we had the official announcement at the showcase that they're working together on a game.
Do you think Sony was just
You
caught
know.
with their pants down? Like they genuinely just didn't realize. They were like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Well, they found out on the same day we did. They were like,
No,
"Oh, what?"
but like when it happened and like we slipped in to get it on Games Pass, they were just like, "Oh yeah, shit." We kind of left that like open, like published the way we published it. You know, we kind of left it open for something like this to happen. Maybe they were a little bit unaware, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, just a funny old thing. It might just be the case that 505 and you know Kojima had just had complete control over what happens with that game on PC.
Yeah.
In which case, there's nothing Sony could do to stop that. You know.
I mean, we're never seeing this come to a console, right?
No, never happened.
No. Yeah.
Unless there's like some funny work, which they should do. They should like make PC to console streaming. Like, allow me to boot up, like to stream from the Windows Store to my console.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be a good workaround for stuff like this, especially as streaming continues to get better and better. That would be actually a feasible way to play games that are otherwise only accessible on PC, right, on console.
Yeah, definitely.
Joaquin says in the chat, did you guys see the giant spider symbol embedded on the briefcase from the Death Stranding announcement? I wonder if that means anything. I did see that. I from what I could tell, that was just a reference to symbology in the game. Because a lot of people saw that and were like, does that mean Spider-Man's going to come to Games Pass PC? I know.
What?
That's not happening.
Jesus,
It's not happening.
Absolutely not.
There would be a civil war across the world.
No, that
across
just
Europe.
it just wouldn't happen. No.
Yeah.
I mean, Insomniac are a first-party studio for a PlayStation. That's just.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, there's no way. No, there's no way that means anything. So, yeah. All right. So that was funny, and that comes out. I think August 23rd. So next week.
So soon
Xbox
as well.
Game Pass PC. I'm interested. I'm interested to hear what people have to say about it on revisiting, because I've always said, like, I'm interested. I like. I've never played a Kojima game. I'm gonna put that out there. I've never played a Kojima. I've never played any of the Metal Gears.
Okay.
They're weird games. I like weird games. I like pretentious games. However, from what I can tell, this is like a 60-hour game.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
a
main
lot.
component is like walking and storytelling. And that could be okay, but I'm like, if I did have the option to play it, I am a bit reluctant, like, if you can't tell. But yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, maybe one day.
It's an ordeal to take. I think even a 60-hour game with fantastic combat as well as storytelling and stuff like that shit's still hard to chug through sometimes. Let alone if you're just not sure if you're going to enjoy that sort of gameplay loop.
Yeah.
It's a lot to ask. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, Toys for Bob, who are the devs of, well, a lot of things, but most recently the Spyro, Reignited trilogy, Crash 4, It's About Time, Skylanders.
Mm-hmm.
They were teasing their 18th game. They've done 17 on Twitter. They said, can you name every title on the Toys for Bob ball of games? And, they had what they are. And then for the 18th one, it was question mark. So we are kind of back to the discussion of what is this? They're under the Activision Blizzard label, obviously. What is the studio doing? What are they making? And there is only one thing that everybody wants to talk about. I think it's Banjo.
Yeah.
Because obviously they did really well with like the remake of the reboot, I suppose, of both of Crash and Spyro, and they're both like PG mascot platformers with some like maybe light combat elements. Like if there was a studio, it would be these guys. However, unless this was a deal sorted before the acquisition, I can't see how this will have happened. Like they're not even under the like Xbox umbrella yet. So
Yeah, it seems unlikely, right? It's a great fit, and it would totally work, assuming we already had them under our umbrella. But yeah, it just seems a bit much to ask that this has been going on for a long period of time, before we've even before they even come under us. So it's definitely wishful thinking. But maybe it would just be like an announcement. Just when it happens, they're just like once they get under the Xbox umbrella, they're like, we're developing a Banjo game now. So, they're not necessarily saying their 18th game is coming out soon. They're just teasing that something is on the cards. So,
yeah, it might be early.
Yeah, it might just be super crazy early. Yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing. I think like if you are gonna or I operate under the assumption that they are making a Banjo-Kazooie game, then you also have to understand that would mean that this was a deal made, but like independent of the ActiBliz acquisition, which isn't impossible, but like that would just have to be because they can't confer during this period. They're not allowed to collaborate on anything while this is going through.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, I think we've got like 3 or maybe 4 stories left. So considering this was quite a packed week with a lot of things to talk about, we're doing okay. We're at 1:40. Thanks for hanging around, everyone. By the way, you're doing great.
You're doing fantastic.
I'm still sweating. I'm having a very hard time.
I'm sweaty as well, dude. It's hot. It's a hot day today.
yeah, it's hot. Okay, so next up, mouse and keyboard support seems to be happening for Xbox Cloud Gaming. A little mouse and keyboard sit-like icon has appeared on the Xbox app on PC, which is really interesting. Like, because it's just for cloud gaming. Like, that's the only place it's appeared. Maybe out of nowhere we suddenly get mouse and keyboard support for all of Xbox. But feasibly, this would mean that you could stream games and use mouse and keyboard to play them. Let's say, you're on your computer, you stream a game, you wouldn't have to sync up a controller to play.
I didn't even realize.
Just whacking a mouse.
This was a fucking thing. Like, I just assumed.
Well, it's not yet.
Stream a game from your. No, I just assumed you could, if you streamed a game from your PC, you could play it mouse and keyboard. I had no idea it was only controller supported.
Yeah, no, well, a lot of these games don't have MNK support. So, yeah, it would have to be custom, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, that never even crossed my mind. Okay, yeah. Just weirdly.
Yeah, a lot. Well, this is one of those things that's like, I think this has to happen for there to become, like you said, for there to become a bit more unity in the whole Xbox PC thing. Like part of the reason some of these strategy games, for example, Gears Tactics, Age of Empires, are being delayed coming to Xbox. Arguably, it's because they have to make a controller support, right? Exactly. So, if there was mouse and keyboard, maybe that would make things easier. Having said that, if Age of Empires came to console only with MNK support, I wouldn't play it. So, nonetheless, I think the unification of it is what's important as well. So,
yeah, definitely,
it's good.
Yeah.
Joaquin in the chat says, "Are you guys excited for the new Game of Thrones show tonight?" Is that tonight? Is it? That's crept up.
Oh, I mean, you're not talking. I haven't even seen Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna lie. I've nothing against it, and I want to see it at some point. But I'm one of those guys that hasn't actually watched Game of Thrones, so I will not be tuning into this. It's like a prequel thing, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. It's like hundreds and hundreds of years before the other show.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, I'm probably not going to tune in, but it's something I will watch at some point. But yeah, I mean,
It's
is that
good.
something you'll tune into? You were quite like Game of Thrones, didn't you?
Yeah, it's brilliant. The first 4 seasons were pretty brilliant. I think there was 6 total, and then five was like, and then 6 was,
Yeah,
oh,
we don't talk
like
about
it's
it.
mental how badly that 6th season just wiped Game of Thrones off the face of the earth. Like
Yeah,
crazy. Like that show was on the cusp of being like having the same public recognition as like Lord of the Rings. Um,
I'd say
but
more.
that
It was
that
like
last
Game of
season
Thrones in its
fucked it.
prime. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't have a conversation without Game of Thrones popping up
Yeah.
in its prime.
You want Game of Thrones latte coffee art? I'll do
Yeah,
you for that.
I'd take
You want
that.
Game of Thrones subscription service? Deliver you swords and shit. Yeah.
You pet
Last
dragons.
season's something. Yeah. Yeah. Just eggs.
Giant fucking dragon egg.
Oh god. Yeah, I will watch this. I don't know if I'll watch it now. I don't even know what servers it's on in the UK, and I'm not gonna try risking typing it into my computer right now. Yeah, I'll watch it at some point. It looks quite good. When I saw the trailers, I was quite pleasantly surprised. Matt Smith is in it, which is great. He's my boy, although I do think he looks a bit weird in a big blonde wig. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope it's received well. Ultimately,
Yeah,
Game of Thrones needs a dub.
it does. Yeah, to bring it back. Well, it'll be a HBO Max, by the looks of it.
Well, I don't have that. We don't have that. So what do
Oh
we do
no,
now?
now TV as well, by the looks of it.
I was going to say now. Yeah, I thought now. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind. I need to finish Better Call Saul. I'm like, right, I've got 2 episodes left to watch of that. And then I'm done with the Breaking Bad universe, which is very sad, but very good.
Nice.
Is there anything else? No. Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. I wanted, the next thing we've got to talk about, Tim, in our penultimate news story for the week, is that there was a report on how much Xbox paid for Cooking Simulator.
Let's go. I love that guy. I poured hundreds of hours into that game.
Have you already seen what I've put in the notes? Because if you haven't, I'd like you to guess.
I've already seen it, unfortunately.
Okay. Shit.
But I'm gonna guess.
Content. Yeah. 600,000 to get Cooking Simulator in Games Pass.
It's a lot.
I don't know, Phil.
It's a lot of money, dude.
I mean, this is fine. Like, it's fun, isn't it? Cooking simulation, but more than $500,000. I don't know, Phil.
Yeah, not
like,
too sure about that. Man.
Blink twice if you need help.
Hey, Philly needs it.
Is there a shopping problem here?
Philly obviously needs to learn how to cook, and he can do that through. His
Yeah,
Xbox.
that's it. He's like, please, how do I make a good bolognese? Why do we have such a bad reputation for having bad food, Tim?
What, British people?
Yeah, what's that
We
about?
don't. We have reputations.
We
for
bloody
having,
do.
Like great like cuisines, like
No.
your classic fish and chips and like our curries and stuff like that.
No, dude, you're fucking insulated against the Europeans and the Americans of the world who think that we just eat like undercooked, unseasoned chicken and peas.
I don't know. I didn't feel like British cuisine was that in the bin, but okay.
And it's just a stereotype, like how we have fucking wonky teeth,
Oh,
and
I know.
we say bruv all the time, and we eat scones, and we talk about the Queen. I can't think of the last time I spoke about any of the
literally
royalties in
couldn't
this
give
country.
two shits about the royal family.
Yeah,
Like genuinely.
I don't know. It's come up on my Twitter feed. It's come on my Twitter feed more than once now, and I'm like moderately offended. But and it's weird because like some people like I don't know. It's like maybe students have just cooked up a bunch of mince and like just put peas in it, and somehow this photo, like someone has tagged it, and maybe ironically or unironically be like, "Oh, best dinner ever," and it makes the rounds. And they're like, "Oh, fucking British cuisine, am I right?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I made a meatball sub from scratch yesterday. You saw that shit. Where's my phone?
No deck. Yeah, but that's not necessarily a British cuisine. Meatball sub.
Yeah, no. I guess I'm just like, I'm confused. Like, if people think we have less access to
Oh,
like, do you think we
can't
don't have
cook
ovens?
Yeah,
like,
British people can't cook a good Mexican meal or a good Italian meal.
Yeah.
No, we can. I'm having burritos tonight, and I'll fucking tweet that shit. That looks fantastic. And what are those? Bacon loaded fries? Is that little rocket salad there? Little baby baby spinach?
No, pea shoots. Pea shoots with balsamic vinegar. I made pesto meatballs. I fucking mashed the meat together. Pesto, breadcrumbs, salt, pepper.
Let's go.
Pesto in it. And then made them into meatballs, cooked them in the oven, popped them in a hot dog bun.
And
cheese and then pesto. I popped it in my mouth.
And it was awful. So I went and boiled some chicken.
yeah. I don't know.
Oh god.
I came from a dark, bitter place.
That was a weird tangent.
Yeah, I guess it is just like that thing of like when our mates or even us guilty. Sorry, like talk about fat people in America or whatever. That I guess we bring it on ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
The stereotypes. We know it's not true. It's generalizing.
It's racist.
Okay. All right, let's get to the last news story then. The snitch Tim. Oh, by the way, I wanted to talk to you about this because like you've interacted with me on Twitter now like a couple of times. I'm gonna bring that into the room.
Great.
You've done great. I've enjoyed it.
It's a lot of effort on my behalf, dude. Twitter scares me.
It's so draining. You're like, life gets sucked out of you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think you should do? Do you know what I think? I think you should put a little line and just have Tim line Quick Resume podcast.
I don't want people to know. I'm kidding. But if you click into my profile, it says that I'm on a podcast and you can find it here and stuff like that. So I'm not ashamed to do it. But fine. If you want me to do it, I'll do it.
I think you should do it, man. I think that's fun because otherwise people just think I'm talking to another unrelated Tim on Twitter, and that's kind of weird.
Because it just looks like you're talking to. It looks like you're still getting user interaction rather than interaction from someone who's just on your show. I'm like a I'm like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Sheep's clothing? Is that? What's the expression?
Yeah, I think that is a wolf in
sheep's.
Well, you're not gonna say like skin, right? It's just weird.
Wolf in sheep's skin. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure our audience and me would love that.
Fine, I'll do it.
Yes, we got him. Do it right now.
I'll do it for Wiki.
Okay. Do it for Wiki, yeah, exactly. The true QRP friendo. The reason I brought this all up is because there is and you won't know this because you don't get to enjoy the festivities of Twitter. Twitter giveth and Twitter taketh. That is the problem. It giveth and taketh. And the giveth is that there is I think I might have spoken about them before. There is a insider account called The Snitch.
Yeah.
Right. 100% track record. This person has fingers in pies that have no right to be there. People's pies are feeling attacked.
Violated.
Because there are many... Yeah. Because there are so many fingers within them from the snitch.
So weird. Such a weird way to break it down. Because there are so many fingers within the pies. Swirling around. Violating the pies.
Yeah.
Without consent.
Oh, I'm so sweaty, dude.
Come on, you can get through it. It's the last story. The snitch.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah, all right. Okay, yeah, snitch. Anyway, okay, 100% track record. Pies. Swirling around. Fingers in them. He put up a Morse code, just a green background, and then just blasted Morse code over the top. Just beep, 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 beep. Mm-hmm. People figured it out, And what the words said, the translated words were, "The wise men say, you'll find your way." Okay. Being the musical pleb that I am, I didn't know that this was a reference to a Kanye song called Pinocchio Story. What
Yeah.
other news story have we spoken about recently that concerned Pinocchio?
Oh, it's that Bloodborne game, wasn't it?
It's that Bloodborne game. There we go. That's right.
The wooden puppets Bloodborne game. Games Pass
The
Day
Wooden
one.
Puppets. Yeah, and we spoke about that, right? So I don't know if this was just like, I don't know if he's implying that this is the case. He's saying, yeah, confirmed. Lies of P. That's the game. Lies of P.
Yeah.
It's confirmed. Day one Game Pass, because like a lot of us figured that was the case, because the reason we figured that is because the list of games they had at Gamescom, there were like 8 there, and 7 of them were already confirmed to be Games Pass Day one, with the addition of Lies of P being there, which hasn't been spoken about. So we kind of assumed these are all going to be Games Pass Day one.
Yeah.
That's what we spoke about last week. So I'm curious if Snitch is alluding to, like, yes, confirm this is a Games Pass Day one, Game Pass Day one release when it comes out, presumably this year, quite soon. I don't know if it has a release date. Could you check actually for me?
Yeah, sure.
Lies of P release date, or if this is like alluding to a exclusivity deal, because that sounds like a thing that might be worth doing right now. Xbox don't do that ever, really, but they have a very weak back half of 22. There's As Dusk Falls, which was good, Pentiment, which will be good, but they could really do with just one more Xbox aligned exclusive game. But like I said, I can't remember the last time Xbox made a third party exclusivity deal. Yeah. So maybe this is just a confirmation of like, this is coming day one Games Pass, which would be great because it looks good, and if it reviews well, it might be saving grace.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it looks great. Yeah, and to have this come day one Games Pass, I think will be a pretty big deal. And yeah, currently it doesn't have a release date. No. People are saying don't expect it until late 2022 or 2023. So it's very loose and quite wide open, the release date for this.
Okay. Yeah. So I reckon we'll get a release date announcement then with Games Pass Day one.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Seems sensible, right?
Yeah. It's pretty hype.
Yeah. So that's kind of it, really. We'll have to see. I assume, like I said, I assume this is a Games Pass deal rather than an exclusivity deal, because Xbox just don't do them anymore. Like, and is it really worth it? Like, I don't know. But if they're spending $600K on Cooking Simulator, like,
who knows? Dude?
Anything could happen. Anything could happen. Oh, that's it, man. We did it. That's all the stories.
Nice. Yeah, it was a pretty packed week. It was a good week, though. It's fun to talk about.
Yeah, just a bit all over the place. Yeah, it wasn't just Xbox stuff, and we've got Gamescom coming up next week. If we didn't speak about Redfall, fuck.
Okay, we'll just break it down. What new things happened? What was it?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, there wasn't an immense amount of new stuff, but it was like a nice. I saw a lot of comments from the Redfall. It was like a 20-minute long roundtable where they just spoke about like the development. We didn't see any new gameplay or anything, but it was. I saw a lot of people watch this video and come away like, oh, this sounds like an Arcane game.
Yeah,
okay, it sounds like they're now, after the last time they saw it, they were like, oh, we need to angle this as something which is an Arcane game, So we got a couple of extra screenshots and like concept art, but like the takeaway bit of information that made the rounds, I made a couple of bullet points, but the takeaway thing was that and this is in quotes, just one section of Redfall's map is bigger in size than the entirety of Talos 1, the space station setting of Prime. So just kind of really driving home that this is a big game, which got some people like immediately triggered, because some people were like, big is bad.
Big means
that means it's going to be empty.
Yeah, big means empty.
Yeah, empty.
Hashtag
100 planets.
Dead.
1,000 planets. All empty.
Yeah.
No, these things are not mutually exclusive. Like, things can be big and not be empty, Yeah. So, yeah, but beside the other small bullet points I made a note of, most ambitious Arcane game ever. World building and environmental storytellings are a big focus. Big open world, but keeps a small town atmosphere, and skill trees and gear have deep build customization. They also called out that the size of the map was, it was specifically because there's no vehicles, so the size is big and it's dense. But hopefully that is what this means, that there is high density, and it's what we've come to expect from Arcane. Lots of details, lots of environmental storytelling. I think this game is going to surprise people. I keep saying it, like Arcane make good games. The co-op element might not be for you, but it sounds like a lot of effort has gone into making this a soloable experience if you want it to be that. I still want more information on this, but I'm glad that they're more and more angling this as the stuff that they are good at, rather than it's crazy wacky multiplayer shooter.
No, I'm glad too. And that's exactly what we were both hoping for when we were talking about it as well. We were literally like, just establish that it's an Arcane game, what makes it an Arcane game. It's great to see, and I think this game, as with all Arcane games, will review probably pretty damn well. But just hopefully they can sort out that marketing little hiccup they've had, and it will sell really well, hopefully, as well. So fingers crossed.
Amazing. All right. Well, we've just crossed the 2-hour mark, which does make it our longest show in a while. We've gotten quite good with timings, but this was a bigger week, so that's okay. We'll let ourselves off this time. I think. So Tim, why don't you smack that jingle, and we will wrap this up and get out of here. If you're listening on your favorite podcast services, if you're still here on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube afterwards, thank you. Please do hit the like button. I know it's cliche, I know it's annoying, but it really does help us grow, and we are trying our darndest. We've been doing this for over a year now, and we're really liking some of the engagement we're getting, especially since we started going live. So thank you. Tim, any closing thoughts for today? Any profound proverbs that you want to drop on the people?
No. I feel like you set me up for failures for these things. How am I supposed to follow that? I don't have anything lined up. You just like improvise me.
No. You just say something like, have a bottle of water every day.
Have a coffee. I'm going to go get a coffee. I'm going to go get an iced coffee. Do that.
That sounds great, man.
Yeah.
Very profound. Okay, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Have a big sandwich.
Oh god, you just had to one-up me.
And we won't be here next week. We won't catch you next week. We'll catch you in 2 weeks' time.
Oh yeah.
Tim's coming. This kid is coming to my house, to this very room, where I will be doing very naughty things.
Shush. Jesus, dude. What is wrong with you? Hell, man.
Funny. It's just funny stuff. All right, let's get out of here before I fucking keep going. Just end the show.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.